Hi Flosstube, how are ya? It's Jeannie again, and I am back with, it's been a while since I've done a Flosstube, and I am back to show you a finish, some whip progress, and a new year, new start, and then my some of my 2020 plans. Talk about that a little bit. So anyway, I have been stitching, but I haven't been stitching very much at a clip. So I usually will stitch almost every day, but I maybe do like one length of thread here and there, so I haven't been really getting a lot of volume stitching in, and so I feel like I just haven't had that much to show. I also haven't really been hauling. I've purchased a few things here and there, I think, but I mean really even nothing really significant to show. So I don't really have any haul in this video, I don't think. I bought the fabric for my new year, new start, and different things like that, but don't even have a significant amount of haul. And I'm not formally doing Stitch from Stash, but I'm trying to be really mindful in all of my crafting to kind of be using what I have. So, because I have a ton. So anyway, but I do plan to purchase a few things. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy, but I'm trying to, like I said, just see what I have and use what I have. And I really like so much of what I have. I'm excited about that. I'm also going to be doing a Stitchy Carousel package that's actually hosted by Cat Crazy Creations. I think the signups are still open. If you are watching this video on the day it was published, check out Sonia at Cat Crazy Creations. She does this every so often, where she'll just send a package around the country, and then you take things out, you add things in, and I have some things in my stash that I'd like to pass along, and so and it's a fun way to get some new things too. So anyway, so I'm excited. That'll be my first time participating in that. But anyways, I'll start out with my new finish, or my finish. I think this is the only finish that I have. And I actually started and finished this, I think, since my last Flosstube video, so you haven't really seen it. But I have been working on the Seasons by Lizzie Kate, and I'm so sorry, you guys, I forgot to pull since I had this in my finish pile, I didn't have it with the pattern, the leaflet thing, and I forgot to pull it. But anyway, so I did start and finish Winter. I think I said in my last video, I find that I am a seasonal stitcher. I like to work on things in season. So so I got this going, and I do love these little projects because these little motifs are easy to stitch in hand. They're easy to take on the go if you are stitching in your car or stitching at your break at work or whatever it happens to be. And so I went ahead and started and finished this one. And I did so. This is my third one. The only thing I have left to do is spring, and I'm probably going to start that probably in March. I don't know that I'll start it in February, but I'm probably going to start it in March, and then I'll have the whole series done, and then I'll have to get brave and start finishing, because I'm scared I'm going to ruin things if I finish, but if I try to do some finishing. But anyway, so this is Winter. I did make some color changes in it. I did do the DMC conversion on this leaflet, but I did go ahead and make some substitutions because the red that was called for, at least the DMC, was more of a rusty red, and I wanted more of a Christmas red. Same thing with the greens. This bright kind of Christmas green that you see here, this was like an olive green, and I just wanted it to be more Christmassy. I didn't mind this kind of blue green here. That's the stem of the rose and the 25, but anyway, so I did swap out a brighter red and a brighter green that were more Christmassy looking to me, and then I also swapped out, I made the deer a little darker. It was called for in not quite this color, but I noticed in the DMC conversion that the two browns, because if you do all the patterns as called for, then all four seasons have the same colors in them. And there was another brown, but it's really, in the DMC, it's very, very similar to this one. And I just wanted the deer. I thought it was so cute. I wanted it to stand out a little bit more. So I just chose a darker brown to do the deer. And so I got that kind of started and finished. And this is on 28 count. I'll show it to you close up. 28 count mushroom Monaco. And I got a big piece of this on clearance at Joann's and a while back, and cut it into 4, so all 4 of them will be on this. And these, you guys might have been my first projects on even weave. So there's been a bit of a learning curve there. But anyway, so that is Lizzie Kate Seasons Winter, and that is my finish. Let's move on to WIPS. I did work on the 'Tis the Season Sal. This is probably 2 years old now. This pattern comes out of Home for the Holidays by Blackbird Designs. Let me zoom back out for you if I can. My camera has a touch screen, but it's not always very responsive, shall we say. There we go, it's a little bit better. So it's in this booklet. This is a part of the pattern that's on the back. And like I said, we started this as a stitch along and probably 2 falls ago maybe. And I probably am the last one done, but that's okay. And this one I am doing on Picture This Plus Jade. And I did pony up for most of the silks. They're Belsois silks. And you guys, I do love stitching with silks. And this is, I'm doing 1/1 on 16 count. And this is, like I said, Picture This Plus Ada. And so I just did, I think last time you saw it, maybe I had about this much done, and I have gotten in a couple more leaves, and then also the snowflakes. And the snowflakes, I really toyed with on the pattern, leaving them out because I thought they were almost distracting from the picture. But with the 1/1 and the color that I chose, and I think I am doing the DMC in the snowflakes, because I was going to leave them out, and now I decided to put them in, but because they blend in so much, they're much more subtle, and I like them a lot better. So I hope you can even see them. They're not showing, you can see them in person, they're not showing up very well on camera. But anyway, but I do, oh my gosh, you guys, the silks, I would love to stitch everything in silk. But anyway, so I did around Christmas time, this was probably in early December, I did work on that one just a touch. The other one that I've made a little bit of progress on is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Spooky Halloween Sampler. And so I had finished another block. I think I told you in the last video, let me bring this a little bit closer, that I was going to try to work on the border. I never did work on the border. I did go ahead and start and finish, I think, this block for you. And the only thing I haven't done is the little, there's a little bit of back stitching. The little ghosts have smiles, but I think I might leave their mouths off. You know, the little witch doesn't have a mouth, so I think I'm going to leave it consistent and leave that off. But this is on Dapple, 16 count Dapple Ada, also by Picture This Plus, and I love, this is a wonderful gray, and I love it, and it's just got really, really light modeling in it, and I do love Picture This Plus Ada because it's so soft. But anyway, so I finished that, and again, I've said this before, the border has been in Crafty Timeout because I got this weird knot, and I don't even know where all these threads are coming. I cut some of it off, but I intended to get a little bit more of the border done. I was kind of hoping to come around this corner where I had the blocks done, and I just didn't get back to it before I wanted to move on to Christmas. So anyway, so that's where I am on that, and I do enjoy this one. This is another one that's good to take on the go because you can finish one little motif or letter at a time. It's all in one color. I mean, I'm doing this all in DMC. And that's what it calls for. So that is that one. And then the other one that's gotten a little bit of love, although I really have lost steam on this one. I'm going to try to get back on it. Is my Nora Corbett Mermaid. This is for my daughter, and I have made some progress on her, but I had hoped to get her done by Christmas, and I didn't. But I really, like I said, I don't have a mistake on her or anything. I just kind of lost steam. You know when you put pressure on yourself to finish something, and then I didn't really feel like stitching on her, and so I thought, okay, I need to just put her up and take a break. And so, but this is what she'll look like when she's done. And this is where I am on her, and I think she's so pretty. I think I have worked quite a bit on her sash and down here on the rest of her, like the fluke part of her tail. So, and this is done on April Showers. This is 18 count Ada. It's dyed by Stephanie. It's also opal, so it has a sparkle to it. And I've said this before, but one of my challenges with her is that because I did her on, I'm stitching her on a smaller count than what was called for. It was called for 16 count or 32 count. And so then now I'm going to probably have some issues with all the beads fitting in. So I did find, however, some smaller sized beads at one of my local craft stores that were in colors that I liked. So I did go ahead and purchase those. One of the things I was really concerned about, her tail has bugle beads on it, and the ones it called for size 10, and they were going to be way, way, way too big for the scale of her. So I did find some that are, I think it's size 6. And I think they're going to be okay. So, so I did find those, and I think the seed beads are going to be okay. But I thought I'd get in as many as I could, and then maybe fill in with floss if I need to, if I can't fit them all in. But anyway, but haven't started the beading. But I think she's coming along, and I'm starting to feel like I do want to stitch on her. One of the other things I stitched on a little bit too is my Realist Wave. I didn't pull that in. My husband got me the wooden stand from Michael's for Christmas, and so I did put it on the wooden stand, and so it's not going to be really easy to show now, because I actually put it on the stretcher bars on the stand, and I'm still trying to decide if I like the stand. I think maybe there are other ones out there I would have liked better, but I'm still kind of playing with it, so I can let you know on that. And then let's talk about my new year, new start. I decided to start the Blue Flower A Greyhound Year. And if you know, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know, in our past dogs, we had a Jack Russell named Otis, and we lost him, gosh, it was about a year and a half ago in October, and I did I adapted a Country Cottage Needleworks piece as a little memorial piece for him, but I had never done anything for a greyhound, and she's been gone for, oh my gosh, 5 years now, but just loved her to death. And anyway, so I saw this pattern, actually, it was actually Stephanie at Lindy Stitches that showed this pattern on one of her videos, and I'm like, I have to have this pattern. So my girly, my Holly, her name was Holly, and she looked like this. She was a red brindle. So, but I, got the pattern, I was looking at it, and I think it's really, really cute, but it's huge. It calls for it to be stitched on 40 count linen, and even with 40 count linen, it would be a huge piece. And number one, I've not stitched on linen. Number two, 40 count, no way. I don't think, at least I will never say never. I've learned that in crafting, but there's just no way I would want to even attempt to do 40 count. So what I decided to do, and while I do love the border, and I love the squirrels and the bunnies, on here, as they're so fitting for greyhounds, because they are the epitome of squirrel or bunny. In fact, we called Holly our bunny assassin, because she was fast enough, she could catch them, and she did. And so many bunnies lost their lives in our backyard in Indiana. But anyway, this was, so what I decided to do, because I love it, and I think it's really cute, but I also, besides it being so huge, even on 40 count, I also thought, I don't know where I would put this huge thing of greyhounds. So what I decided to do is I decided that I was going to stitch them individually and do one a month. So, and I was hoping to be able to show you guys January as a finish, but I'm so darn close. I think I'm going to try to finish it tonight. And so this is, oops, I got it sideways. So this is January in a greyhound year. And so you guys, this is my first project on linen. This is a 28 count, and I'm doing it calls for 1/1 on 40 count. This is 28 count, and I'm doing 2/2. But you can still see by the size of my hand, it's not ginormous. I mean, these are going to be really cute, like little pillows or little flat folds or something. But anyway, so all I have left to do is the rest of this snowflake, and there's one more snowflake down here, and then I will be done with January. And I am using mostly the called for. I did buy the fancy flosses. It's mostly Weeks and Gentle Arts. No, Classic Colorworks, I'm sorry. But I have made some substitutions. I either failed to buy this light brown part in the dog was supposed to be a color called Portobello, which was a Classic Colorworks, and I just didn't order it. I don't think when I ordered the other floss, I think I just missed it on my list. And then, so I used the DMC conversion, because they do give you both on the pattern. And then, so that's DMC. the rest of it I think are the called for colors, except for the Greyhound's green jacket here, or green coat. You guys, I could not, it calls for Shutter Green, Classic Colorworks color Shutter Green, and there's no Shutter Green skeins to be had anywhere that I could find online or anything. I don't have an LNS. So I ended up just picking another color that was variegated, that looked as close to what I could tell in the pattern what color it should be. So I ended up choosing WIPS Avocado, and it does have it has a nice it does have a nice variegation to it. I'm really happy at how that came out. And I think it's really cute and pretty, but it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit more blue-green. The pattern to me looks a little bit more yellow-green, but you know, it's often hard to tell in these little pictures. But anyway, so I did sub that out because I just literally could not find the color at any of the online stores. They were all sold out of that color. So anyway, so I expect this will be finished tonight, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started on February, on the 1st of February. And then, but you guys, this is all the stitching, because I've just been stitching a little bit at a time. This is all the stitching I have done, besides a few stitches in the Realist Wave. This is all I've done for January. So I didn't work on any of my WIPs in January. So I'm like, I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But yeah, so I'm going to start February. And you guys, I'm trying to decide. I did buy all the floss for February, and it looks, you know, it looks like the dog is celebrating President's Day here. It looks like Abraham Lincoln, but I really prefer Valentine's Day. So I'm almost thinking about leaving off the hat and the beard, and maybe converting these little quilt squares, stars, to hearts. But I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'll probably go ahead and start on the Greyhound this time after I do the frame, and then I will decide what I want to do. But anyway, but you guys, oh my goodness, this is my first project on linen. This is flat. I think it's Witchelt Flax. The pattern actually calls for natural linen, and I did buy some of that too, but because I did some color converting, I liked the colors on this lighter color a little bit better. But oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know. I think I'm going to end up being an even weave girl, because I have a really hard time just sort of seeing the squares here in 2/2. And the first thing I did was, well, I did the border, and then I did January, and the border did line up the first time, thank goodness. But oh my gosh, you guys, the steam coming off the mug here, I mean, it looks like a 2-year-old did it. I mean, white stitches are rough anyway, but anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna give it another go. But since I'm doing these individually, I don't have to do them all on, you know, all on linen. If I don't want to, I can throw in some Aida, I can throw in, you know, some more even weave, whatever I want to do. But anyway, so I'm trying to, oh, sorry, I'm bumping the camera, but I'm trying to leave my, I'm trying not to judge, but, because I do love how linen looks, but oh my goodness. I've made lots of mistakes, and I think the stitches just don't look very neat on some of the, I think the mug looks okay, and the Greyhound's coat looks okay, but the white stitches are just awful, I think. But I did a little bit better. I did railroad the muzzle here because I was like, oh my gosh, if they look like the steam, that's not going to be good. So anyway, but that is my new year, new start. And like I said, I'm just doing those once a month, and I'm thinking I'm going to display them on my desk at work. But this is my homage to my beautiful, sweet, rescued Greyhound that we had for 10 years. Loved her. Let's move on then to plans. Besides doing my Greyhound each month, a couple of things I want to do is I want to get something stitched for all of my significants, all of my close loved ones, and I'm pretty close. I have, you know, the mermaid will be for my daughter. My son already has his Game of Thrones piece. All of my siblings, you guys, my brother and my 2 sisters, all have their piece completed. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do something for my daughter's boyfriend. I think, you know, he will end up being my son-in-law at some point, and so I wanted to do something for him. And I was going to do a Game of Thrones piece, but I don't know. I do have the flags the flags of their sigils, and I might, so I'll look at that one again. But what I'm thinking about doing is the Gnomes in a Garden row by Bent Creek. He and my daughter have this kind of running joke about gnomes, and he loves to garden. He has a little, in fact, I gave him a little herb garden as one of his gifts for his birthday, because he loves to have little potted plants and mess around with little herb gardens and things like that. So so I was thinking I might do this for him. And what I'd like to do, he has a his hair is, well, I would say he is a ginger, although the hair on his head is kind of a brownish red, but his beard, he has a full beard, and his beard is very red. And when my 80-year-old mom, before she died, she met him just weeks before she died, and one of the first things she said to him is, "Why is your beard red?" Because it's a different color than his hair. But anyway, my plan, it's a sweet story, but my plan is to make one of these gnomes look like him with a red beard, and then one of the other little girl gnomes I'll give blonde hair to look like my daughter. So so I'm thinking about doing this. It won't be very big, which and it does have the alphabet and stuff in it, but I think he would get a kick out of it. So so I'm thinking about this one for him. That's really what I'm leaning toward. And then I still haven't stitched anything for my husband. Now, he bought me the wave, and I think the wave will be his, but the wave is a huge full coverage piece. So I wanted to get something that maybe he could take to work. And one of his very, very favorite movies is Office Space. And so this is a kit that I got, and it's and this is one of the songs. It's actually a rap song that's in it. In a scene in the movie, and it's, damn, it feels good to be a gangsta. And so I think I'm going to stitch this up for him. Now, I don't know. It comes with this kind of plastic frame, and I don't know, I don't think I'm going to use the white Aida. I might keep, it does have the floss. I might keep the colors. I don't mind the colors. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but I probably will change the fabric on this, so to something else. But I might go ahead and just keep the colors, but I think this one I think I could knock out, and I think this would be something that he would get a kick out of. So I'm going to, those are going to be two things that I start this year. No immediate plans, but two things that I'm going to start this year. The other two things that I want to do this year is I want to start a sampler, and I want to start a Quaker. So the sample, I do have some patterns of samplers. I actually have the Strawberry Fields kitted up except for the fabric. I think it's a Blackbird Designs. Love that one. But I think what I'm going to do is I have this kit, Joy in the Journey by Jan Lynn, and I think I'm going to do this as my first sampler. And again, I do love, this is a kit. I do love the colors in this, although right now I really think I'm going to swap out the Aida and do an even weave with this one. But I do think this is a really pretty pattern. I might do something variegated for the house just to make it a little bit more interesting, since that's a big block of stitching. But I love the bees. I love what it says. Even though I'm not super religious, I love the blessed is the life that finds joy in the journey. And I just think that's a pretty saying. And I do like the border and everything. So I think this is the sampler that I'm going to start. And then I don't have the Quaker pattern yet, although I can leave that there so you guys have something to look at. I don't have a Quaker pattern yet, but I'm really leaning toward Rosewood Manor's Summer Quakers. And I am thinking, if you watch Stitching with Luda? So yeah, Stitching with Luda or Stitches with Luda. She's this beautiful, wonderful stitcher that I like to watch. She does lots of dimensions kits, and she recently finished Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor, and so I was looking at those, and the summer one is by far my favorite color wise. It's stitched on a pink fabric. It has Valdani silks, I think, that you stitch it with. And so I think I'm gonna buy that for my birthday, because my birthday's in July. It's in the summer, and start that as my birthday start. So I think that is what I'm going to do. So I want to do a Quaker pattern. So, and then there's one more. I just saw somebody, gosh, who was it, showing a pattern that by Carriage House Samplings that I fell in love with, and I might have to get that one too. And so if I get it, I don't even know if I'll start it this year, but I'll probably get the pattern. and get that one on the go. It's not a Hawthorne Hollow. It's one of their other ones, but it's more prim, and so I think I might get that one and potentially start it this year. So those are my plans besides my other WIPs. And you guys, I think, do I have 10 WIPs? I think I have 8 or 10 WIPs around in there. So I'm going to try to get back to some of those as well. And so I'll keep you posted when I'm kind of cycling through those. So, but anyway, so those are my 2020 kind of tentative plans. And what I'm thinking I want to at least get started and or accomplish this year. Also want to do some finishing. But again, every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a day, I'm going to get out my sewing machine and I'm going to do some finishing, then I get scared and I worry I'm going to ruin something. So anyway, but hopefully I'll get my you know, courage up to do that. So anyway, so that's it for me today. I hope you guys are getting lots of stitching and or crafting done, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.